Call this meeting of the Harriman City Council to order May the 7th, 2019. Before we get started, we'll have a prayer by Councilman Wright, followed by the pledge allegiance to the flag. Councilman Wright.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for all of those who are present with us tonight, and may you bless each one and their families. We are most appreciative of the blessings that we receive and want to express our acknowledgement of them. And may your Spirit continue to guide us in all our undertakings on behalf of our citizens. And above all, may our actions be pleasing in your sight. We offer these prayers in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Darryl Cook.
Here.
Buddy Holly.
Here.
Ken Johnson.
Here.
Kenny Me.
Here.
Sam Russell.
Here.
Lonnie Wright.
Here.
For our quorum. Motion to approve the minutes for the April 16th, 2019 meeting.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Russell. Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Councilman Russell.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Darryl Cook.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Ken Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to approve the paid salaries.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Meade.
Second.
Second by Councilman Holly. Councilman Meade.
No, sir.
Councilman Holly.
Motion.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Darryl Cook.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Ken Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. This time we'll hear from delegation. If you'd like to address this council, please stand, state your name, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Barry Paulson, and I'm with Darkest Entertainment, and we produce the Tennessee Medieval Fair and the Tennessee Pirate Fest, and our show is coming up on May 25th. So besides all the normal things of 8 acres and 7 stages and jousting and sword fighting, some of the new things, let's see, we are having 3 themed weekends. So the first one is Warriors in honor of the veterans and first responders, and we're having a buy one, get one free on Memorial Day for anyone who is a veteran or first responder. And then on our second weekend, it's Celtic Fantasy, so there's a couple in Harriman, and they own dogs that are wolf dogs, and one of them has been in a movie, the movie Rampage, so people can come and get their picture with, like, wolf dogs. And then the third themed weekend is time travel for people who like steampunk and cosplay, so we'll have some vendors that have things to sell for them. Some other new things that we're doing, besides having more vendors and more activities, more promotions, that something that you had mentioned is getting in with the schools. And so I talked with the school board, Gary Yates, and so we're giving a $3 off coupon for all of the middle schools. So that's almost 1,700 students because they have to study Middle Ages and Renaissance in 7th grade. So, and then they'll win a prize, whichever school has the most people that redeem the coupon. I bought some college courses on the Middle Ages that one of the teachers recommended. So that's 4 of those courses, so that's great. Other things we're doing is next Saturday, the 16th, anyone that's a chamber meeting or a city or county leader is invited to the Roane County Chamber for their after hours event, and we're sponsoring that. It's catered. We'll have some entertainment. It's not at the site this time. It's at the Roane Chamber this time, next Thursday. And also of interest is we have 2 high school seniors that are from Roane County that are 2 of our leads. One is the Sheriff of Nottingham, and the other one is Prince John. And they will be on TV, WATE, on the 13th. They'll actually sing a song, and one of them is Lonnie Wright's grandson. So he is fabulous. They are better, or as good or better than any of the other performers that we've ever had. So they're just great. So we're all about developing talent and giving people opportunities to shine, and it just seems like it just continues to rise, all the interest in it. So we appreciate all the support that you give us and the opportunity to do this. So thank you. Also, one thing, we are going to have an over the street banner sign that says, "Welcome to Harriman, Tennessee Medieval Fair, sponsored by Roane Tourism," since you all are sponsors, and so we're the Rome Chamber, so that's exciting. And we just ask if the road could be maintained and gravel before we open on the 25th. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Looking forward to this year's shows. Anyone else like to address council? If not, I'll go back up the agenda because I didn't wear my glasses and I skipped one. Maybe I can see this, and I need a motion to pay the bills.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Russell, second by Councilman Russell.
No, sir.
Councilman Cook.
No.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Gerald Cook.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. This time we'll go into reports. Harriman, you took the floor.
As most of you know, we opened our new office officially yesterday, May 6th. Everything is working. We welcome you to come and visit us. There will be a big open house grand opening party on Friday, June 21st. I would welcome all of the public and all of you to attend. Our new website went live last month. I think it's a lot better organized, easier to find the information that you're looking for. We're excited about that. One thing that we haven't really said much, but I wanted everyone to be aware of, is at our new office in the last drive-through lane, there is an ATM in operation. It's Enrichment Federal Credit Union's ATM, and it's stocked and ready for use. A lot of people don't know about that yet. One last thing I had noted, we, Harriman Utility Board, had a really great time volunteering at the Easter egg drop on April 20th. Just wanted to mention that. It was a lot of fun. I thought it was a great turnout despite the weather. That's all I've got, unless you all have any questions for us.
Do you have a time for the grand opening?
So it's sort of an all-day come-and-go sort of event. I'll get some more details soon. We'll have a flyer and some social media posts about that. But as of right now, it's sort of an all-day thing. And we plan on doing actually the ribbon cutting part, which I think most people will be excited to attend. Will be about 11 a.m. So plan on 11 a.m. and if I tweak it, I'll let you know before then.
And what day was that again?
That is Friday, June 21st.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for Ms. Building looks great. A lot of great compliments. I think the number one compliment is the drive-through, because a lot of people, they don't have to get out and come inside, they just drive through. And I know that was one of the biggest reasons for moving into that building, so I think that that's going to be great for the ratepayers.
Could I ask a question? What was the ATM name?
The ATM was supplied by Enrichment Federal Credit Union.
Enrichment. Okay.
Police and codes?
Yeah, I'm here for the police department tonight. As you know, Harriman High School baseball team's in district tournament, so the chief may be coaching first base right now. So, but I think you guys have the reports from last month, so if you have any questions about it, just be happy to answer them.
Anybody got any questions about your report? Police department. All right. Thanks, sir. Fire department.
You got my monthly report by email. The other thing that I have, I want to thank the city manager and the mayor. We reached out to the Rome County Highway Department about clearing that training property down there, and they started yesterday. So you're going to see a bulldozer down there, and us down there cutting some trees, and so we're moving forward with that project. And I'm very excited about it, and I appreciate y'all's help, and I appreciate the council voting to give us that property for us to do that project. That's all I have. I'll take any questions if you have.
No questions? I went down and looked at it today. It looks good. I mean, it's looking better.
Yeah, it'll take a
It's got
while.
a ways
We'll
to
get
go,
it.
but it's looking better.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec.
He called right before the meeting and had an umpire cancel, and so he's having an umpire game this evening.
The city manager asked me to type up a report on some issues I'd seen at the golf course. That I know council fields a lot of questions from people, just with questions, and it might help you all to answer those questions when you are asked, to know what we are doing and how we're addressing the concerns as people bring them to you. It's all in there. It's a little wordy, so that's why I typed it up. But we're having a VFW tournament May 18th. That's Armed Forces Day. So that's next Saturday. If anybody wants to play or wants to come out, they're going to do a flag presentation and everything. It's at 10 o'clock. The tournament starts at 10 o'clock, so 9:30 probably. And if you do want to play, it's $240 a team, 3-man teams, best ball tournament. And like I said, it's being put on by the VFW. They had done the tournament at Lakeside, I think, the last few years, but they came back to Harriman this year. So James Wampler is the guy that's kind of headlining it. But I'll take any questions concerning the golf course. So, anybody has?
How's your driving range doing?
It's doing well. The driving range has done well. We've only been up in a month, but we're at about where I projected, a little bit more. So it's done well.
You want to mention the junior?
The junior golf league, yes. If you have children that are 13 and under, I'm going to do the junior golf league for the summer. It's going to get them a membership at the golf course at $75. It's going to get them a membership so they can walk anytime they want, or if you bring them out, you can ride them around. They'll get some instruction, and then I'll group the kids based on age and playing ability. We've got quite a bit of interest in that, so if you do want to sign up for that, or you know somebody who does, just try to get it in pretty early. I just kind of opened that up today, so I'm probably going to post it on Facebook next week, but I know I've got 3 or 4 just off today that are ready to go. So if you do have some kids, I can't take probably an unlimited amount because the instruction becomes a little bit tricky, but I'll take as many as manageable. Baseball team probably is about most I can handle.
Is that manageable by yourself?
Yeah, no. Depends on the kids. Anything else?
And I've been meaning to ask, are we staying with the vending machines, or are we going back to serving food and doing our own thing, or what's the plans for that?
The options there, if I've got probably the whole thing for Coke. If we wanted to go with Coke and put our coolers in there, we can do that. We can do it kind of how the rec department does it, where we purchase the stuff from Sam's and then sell it retail. But no, as of now, we have not taken the vending machines out. The city manager is a little bit clearer on the premise for that as far as Fox vending, the people who do it. I'm not sure exactly what the protocol is to get those out. I think it's just call them and then we have something in place. They're offered first bid if we're going to run some type of cafe. If they refuse to do that, which from my understanding they would, then we would be able to serve drinks and stuff inside there. And if that's something the council wants to push for this year, we can definitely make that happen.
To me, it's up to you. I look at it as that extra revenue. I don't know how your staff is, but I know right now the vending machines, we make zero. We pay the utilities to keep them up, which is probably not much, but yeah. Right now we make zero. And I know before that the vending was a problem back and forth, but I think now with the way things are set up, I think it's when I go up there and play, I don't go in there and get a cake out to eat. I want to get a hot dog or a sandwich or something, and we don't, I'd like to see that back as a part of it, which by doing that, those vending machines, I guess, would go out because you'd want to make the profit.
I've priced out a lot of the things, hot dog machines, along with some other things we talked about that would be kind of quick serve and easy that we can do, and it would it would fulfill probably a lot of those. As Dr. Curley and the city manager and I talked about during the budget meeting, it's not going to be a huge windfall of money, but it would be an increase, in the revenue box. We are doing some limited Gatorade and water sales, along with some hot dog sales, usually 3, sometimes 4 days a week. But that's the
I
extent
would
of it
say
right
that
now.
there's a recommendation from the golf board that we did a few months ago to do that.
We see it more, not as much a revenue source, even though there will be a little bit of revenue generated, as it is an added amenity. But we think we'll just make the course nicer and hopefully attract more players and keep them there longer while they're there. So the real revenue will be if you can capture them and get them to come back more often or play longer while they're there.
Because Bear plays every Friday and he leaves because he don't have no lunch up there, so I know that. Library.
Yeah, we finally received our hotspots that we'd gotten through grant. 3 hotspots. I just got them now. They just got delivered, so we don't have them activated yet, but we will have them to check out so people can have Wi-Fi at home. The Medieval Fair, we've got 2 of their performances going to come and read to the children next week. The summer reading program is going. I mean, she's got all the schedule ready, and they will be dropped off at the school this week, so all the children can get the schedule for the summer program, and it'll be every Wednesday throughout June and most of July. We've got more books ordered, so we'll have more new titles in with your latest authors. And we have the computer classes going. We have one Thursday evening at 5 too, if anyone wants to come.
Do you have anything for the library? Dr. Curley.
I don't know if Kevin's speaking to it or not, but we met with all department heads and working on budget and inputting proposed expenditures, and we're working on revenues, and we've been working on grants, and that's coming along pretty well. So won't be long before we can start discussing the entire budget with you.
You keeping them tight?
Well, it's probably going to be a little tighter than maybe you guys want. But we don't know yet. We don't know yet.
Do you have anything, Dr. Curley?
When are you looking at starting to have budget committee meetings, workshops?
I think Kevin and I will get together on that with you. But I think I should probably have a rough cut this Friday. So anytime after Friday, we could probably think about having some work sessions.
Anyone else? Thanks, sir. City Attorney.
I have 3 property maintenance cases pending in Chancery Court right now. I wanted to deal with those together because it's easier to and more efficient. So the last deadline to file an answer expired last week. It wasn't filed, so I'm going to do motions for default judgment on those. It's a matter of whatever dates the judge has available for getting those set and getting our default judgment. I also met with code enforcement, the city and county, a week, 10 days ago, and they gave me about 10 or 11 new property maintenance cases to get filed. So I'm getting those drafted, and then I'll get with the clerk for filing fees, and we'll move forward on another 10 of them.
Is that pretty well, is that going to get us caught up as far as what's pending?
You have to ask David to be sure, but I think a lot of them had pretty recent dates. They were like through last fall, December, just offhand, I think, because they have to get them notified and give them their 30 days and all that. And so I think they gave me about everything that was ready to go when we met at the end of April.
Good deal.
anybody have anything else for the city attorney? I've got one thing I'd like to look at and talk about. I read the article in the paper about a week ago about how we do whatever. And most of us are illegal sitting here because we're not on this side of the bridge and yah. I've also looked at what we keep spending dealing with this same individual. And I think that we're wasting taxpayers' money dealing with him. I don't think we should respond to him. We shouldn't answer him. Let him take us to court. If we lose, then we'll appeal it. But fighting it, guys, we're just throwing money out the window. I mean, you can't win. Because if you do, he turns around and throws something else out there that I've got a left shoe on my right foot. My personal opinion, for what we're spending out to fight stuff that doesn't make any sense, we're wasting money. Like City Council approved to quit spending money on this. If he takes us to court and he wins, we'll appeal it. I don't think that he can win in a court. If he can, then maybe we need to all leave. But we're wasting money sending you over there and fighting something that makes no sense. You responding to something that makes no sense. I think that that's what he likes. So I'm tired of spending money on it. And I think that this council would be wise to quit spending money on it and say, do whatever you need to do. And then we'll address it when the time comes.
I do understand the frustration. We do have one actual case in court pending with him. He filed for reimbursement of his property taxes paid under protest. Not a lot has been done because he filed the petition. I responded within my time. He responded to my response, and that's kind of where it is. It's his responsibility to move it forward because he's the plaintiff in that case. But otherwise, as far as I know, he hasn't filed any other complaints with the court for his concerns that were in the newspaper or contacted the state comptroller or anything like that. So all I have currently with him is reimbursement of his taxes.
But what he says in the paper is it's coming.
Yes.
He's going to file this and this and this and file it.
Well, and I'm not sure if he's going to try and attach it to his tax reimbursement case. But I don't think he can. It's been too long to amend his petition as far as that goes. But he hasn't contacted me since the newspaper either, so I don't have any other information.
I just think that, he says the city hasn't tried to work with him. I think we've been over backwards trying to work with him, and I know that I have. I've met with him and talked at length with him about let's just work together, and there's no, his last word he said in the paper was, buy my land and I'll drop the lawsuits. That's threatening me. I'm not buying your land. You keep your land. But as long as we keep throwing dollar bills out there at him, he's going to continue doing this, and we're wasting money. I can't tell you not to fight it, but I think that the council needs to look at stop spending money. Mr. Penance.
Yes, sir. Want to let you know, you should have there at your seat an updated set of the lighting plans for the 347 interchange. It's very similar to what you received at the workshop 2 weeks ago. However, the numbers did change just a little bit, not a lot. But the main thing that you have now available that you did not have at that point in time is a lighting diagram for the high mast lighting so that you can compare the light distribution for the high mast lighting to the light distribution for the medium height lighting. As far as the prices go, there's a little bit of difference, but when you're talking about a project of this size, we're only talking about a few % difference. So it really comes down to which approach I think that you like better. So that's something that you can study and we can talk about maybe at the next workshop in a little more detail. And yes, that would probably factor into our budget discussions as well. I'll pass this around so you can take a look at it. The city sponsored a book along with 2 other businesses here in Harriman that is published on being a good citizen. And every student in, I think it's the 3rd grade, they're about the 3rd grade at Bowers Elementary received this, and so we help provide that to all the students in that grade level. You also had at your seat a copy of something called the Walden Bridge zoning overlay. I know roughly a month ago there was a community meeting that the mostly residents of the West Hills area had put together and held to discuss zoning changes for that area. I know Councilman Cook was there and the mayor was there, and I'm not sure if there was any other councilman. Apologize if I'm overlooking anyone. But you two at least are familiar with kind of how that process started. And so a couple meetings after that one, the residents appointed a committee of about 5 members to work through the details to try and address the things that they wanted to address for the area. And so what you have tonight is the outcome of that. The committee met last night and approved this. So what the plan would be is to bring this to Planning Commission hopefully next week for them to take a look at it and make a recommendation on it to council, and then possibly bring it to council at the next 2 meetings in ordinance format for adoption. It would impose some additional restrictions on that area, but I would point out that this was an effort from among the residents of the area. It's not something that the city approached them with and is imposing upon them. It's something that they are requesting for their area. And so it would be mainly applicable to the West Hills area at this point in time. Other areas could request to join it if they wanted to, but right now that's the area that we're mainly looking at. I received over the last couple of days the last of the rankings that I was waiting on from the street committee members for our engineer selection for our Transportation Alternatives Programs grant. I'll be able to calculate those rankings tomorrow and develop a short list of about 3 engineering firms that we'll probably do in-person interviews with. And then once that's done, the committee will make a recommendation to bring before council for which engineering firm to employ to do that work for us. And then I'm just going to let you know that it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but it is my hope that by our next meeting, both council and the calendar that shows on the homepage of our website will reflect a calendar of events that Natasha and the Recreation Department has developed for new types of events that she's doing outside of the sports-related programs that we operate. So that'll be something that you should have access to within a week to 2 weeks at the most. I'll be glad to take questions.
Can you give us an update on where we're at with the splash pad and that process?
We are still waiting on the state. I heard today And it didn't come directly from the state, so of course it may be reliable since it didn't come, more reliable since it didn't come directly from the state, but I heard that their goal is to have the contracts out to the communities by June 1st.
So from that point, where would we go from there?
At that point, we would be able to begin the design of the project, and then move into bidding. The splash pad itself won't take a whole lot of design because it's kind of a plug and play type of thing. And I think that the state will allow us to utilize purchasing off of some of the existing contracts that are in place so that we won't have to do our own bid. We'll just select which company off which contract that we want to go with. We have two companies that we've been talking with for a long while. Actually have a meeting with a third company, a new company that we haven't talked to in the past. Tomorrow, they recently completed a splash pad in Athens, Tennessee, which is the largest one in the state, and are I think under contract with Paris, Tennessee. They're going to top that, and once it's done, it will become the largest in the state. They're out of Knoxville, and so they're interested in doing the work. So that'll give us three choices that we can look at. Most of the design will be with regard to the parking lot, the concessions building, which will also house the operational equipment for the splash pad, and then some very simple design for the playground equipment to go at Davis Park.
One other thing, and nobody's here from Park and Rec, I know maybe you could check on this. There's been previous discussion of having movies in Riverfront Park, and I haven't seen any type of schedule or anything of that type. Is that part of the scheduling you're talking about?
I know I have discussed that with Natasha. I've just looked right now the first couple of weeks of what she's got developed. But I know that's something that we've talked about and that we're planning on doing, but I don't have any dates or anything like that at this point.
Because I mean, we're mid-May now. If we're going to start advertising and have something this summer, should we not be pushing June, July out so people can plan? We've got that big field sitting down there that's empty and not being used. I mean, we could utilize food trucks. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we could do at that park.
Right.
So if you could check on that and get back with us and kind of let us know where, by the next meeting, kind of a schedule or, you know, what we can do down there.
Will do.
That's all I need.
So back to the splash pad real quick. It won't be in this year.
Yeah, it won't be in by the time that the season for operation. We may have it under construction this year, could possibly even have it completed this year, but it wouldn't be prior to when you would typically be shutting them down for the winter.
Is that just because the state takes so long on the ground, or is that? Anybody have anything else to say? Thanks, sir. Going to new business. First item, discuss and possibly approve library board appointment. I have a letter from the library board, and they're meeting April 11, 2019. They recommended to you all to put Margie Jordan on in place of Miss Gloria Todd, which is Margie's mom. She has resigned, I think, due to some issues, and they're asking for Margie to fulfill her term.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Russell, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. Floor is open for discussion.
Darryl Cook,
Yes.
Buddy Holly,
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me,
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Number 2, we're going to hold off until the next meeting. So we'll go to number 3, discuss and possibly approve quote for installation of HAZVAC unit in the second floor rooms at the trailhead to be used to house the historical museum currently in the Temperance Building. Kevin?
Yes, we're getting close. The inmates have been doing good work down there. We're getting close to finishing that. So we obtained a quote for putting in a small split unit that would serve the 2 rooms that we're finishing out. The total cost for that would be $6,100. The quote was provided by MBM Heating and Air Conditioning. And so we're asking for approval of that, other than a little additional electrical work that will have to be done. Those are, I think, the only 2 items that the inmates can't actually do themselves.
Motion to approve the expenditure of $6,100 for HVAC and the second floor.
Is that a local company or where is it?
They are out of Wartburg, I believe.
I'll make a motion to approve the 6,100 for the air conditioning.
Motion by Councilman Me, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Russell. Councilman Me.
And wherever the funds coming from, what items is our building?
Was this a bid?
Basically, we contacted a couple of air conditioning companies. This was the only one that I could get out in a reasonable period of time to be able to give us a quote. I had, prior to his passing, discussed this with Bill Alexander, and this is within a couple $100 of what he had told me he thought that it would cost to put the system in.
Councilman Russell.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Darryl Cook,
Yes.
Buddy Holly,
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me,
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve update contract in Rome County for use of the animal control shelter.
This is, I think, just kind of some, taking care of some housekeeping. I think a lot of these contracts have expired between the county and the cities that utilize the animal control shelter. And so they're just wanting to renew these contracts. And the, other than the term, the dates, everything else appears to be the same.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lee, second. Second by Councilman Holly. Councilman Meade?
No, it looks like, I think we could open ours back up for it, so.
Councilman Holly?
I agree.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Darryl Cook,
Yes.
Buddy Holly,
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me,
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. This time we'll hear from council. Councilman Cook?
I've got a question, maybe, I guess since you have police department and Candace both here. On the red lights at night, say from, I think at 11 o'clock, we've got 2 that goes to flashing, like on each end. because looking at traffic is very, very light in downtown Harriman from 11 to 5 or 6 in the morning. What would be the possibility of maybe keeping the ones on at the end of town and putting the ones, because I see, you see people go one red light to red light, and the other night, I mean, there was nobody anywhere up and down Home Street. Is that something the utility board does? Is that, as far as setting those?
I think typically we're using a contractor, the city has, right?
Yes,
Sometimes we
that's correct.
coordinate getting a contractor
Right.
here.
When we do something like that, it's usually Progressive Electric that comes in and does that work for us. Now, if it's, like the power's gone out, it's knocked one of the signals out, it just needs to be reset, and some things like that, changing bulbs, the HUB does that for us, but for something like that, Progressive would typically come in and do that.
Or could we get maybe some input from the police department of what you all think of those late hours of changing that?
So just having the two lights on each end?
Each end, and I'm just throwing that out there because you see going red light to red light, everybody's having to stop, and there's nobody, you can't see nothing up and down Rome Street in the middle of the night.
We did this one time, and I think it came from council, and we had workshops over it with, I think Randy was chief at the time. And like you said, they wanted the one down there because you can't really see pulling out by the corner there by the new HUB building and stuff, so they wanted to leave that one on. And that's really, I think at 10 o'clock is what we set it for, to flash the rest of them after that, and then over the years it's just changed. But yeah, we had workshops on it, and Drax input, and the police department input, so I don't know why we got away from, I guess, different lightings. So yeah, we've been through it. I don't know if we need to go through that again, like, or just do it.
Is that something we need to have a workshop on and discuss?
I don't really think so. I mean, if it's been discussed like that before, if we could, maybe the red light down by the high school on that end, just slow traffic down coming in, does anybody else have any comment on thoughts?
Is that just resetting the box, or is that changing electronics?
I think they would just come in and change some settings inside the box.
I think they all have timers and everything to them. I think it'd just be a matter of
The only, when you say the one down by the school, are you talking Georgia or Emory?
Emory.
The only thing I'm not sure about is because Georgia is an intersection of two state highways, they may make us keep that one.
Well, yeah. But I was just thinking of opening that up in the middle of the night because
Right.
there's virtually no traffic.
Are we gonna be flashing caution?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if not.
Yeah, flashing
it end up
caution,
being
and then the
a
red
race
lights would be on the side streets entering Rome Street.
Back to drag racing and not good.
It'd be a good place, it'd be well lit.
We used to do.
Is that something you can get with the utility board on, Mr. Helms, and see if we can at least
I came through the night. Bring some recommendation back next meeting. Is that okay, Council? Anything else, sir? Councilman Johnson?
Just a couple of things. I was down at the park the other day with Billy Joe fishing, and I hung around there for a few minutes after we got done, and a couple of people approached me and asked me if we could start patrolling down there a little bit more. Some bad stuff's going on down there after dark, specifically right in the parking area. And I talked to Natasha the other day. When you're walking down the steps to the boat dock or to the dock, on the second level, the little small one, that whole right side of that railing is so loose, if somebody were to lean back against it, it would literally about flip over and drop them on the rocks. I talked to Natasha, and she's supposed to get with Alan to fix it, but we got to make sure that gets fixed, because if we don't, somebody's going to get hurt real bad. That's all I've got.
On what Councilman Johnson talked about, this is my 5th year sitting here, 3rd year as mayor, 2 years as council. We've been discussing that park ever since I've been here. Cameras and this and that. So we put cameras in, we think we're gonna do the right thing, we put cameras in. Well, is the cameras worth the money we spent on them? I mean, everybody I talk to, well, the camera's not working, we can't see this, we can't see, what did we put them in for? I mean, why did we pay a company to put something in that don't work? And who overseen it and who signed off on it that we're gonna pay them if it don't work?
The cameras are operational.
Every time I go to somebody, well, you can't see it, it's not working, you can't.
There's a portion of the cameras that you can't see from off-site, but they are all recording and capturing the video.
So if bad stuff's going on down there, why are we not seeing it on camera?
Probably nobody's reported it, other than they spoke to me the other day about it. They said, you need to really get the police stepping it up down here, because some bad stuff's going on in that parking lot.
Who's that?
Just a couple of people, a man and woman that were down there.
Which parking lot?
The big one, where the new gazebo's at, the big one, the tall one, right in that area.
You're talking about the first parking lot you come into, under the bridge.
No, go on down, right down from where the bathrooms are.
Oh, okay, where the farmer's market's gonna be.
Yep, that one. And this lady here she had a little infant and like probably 2 or 3-year-olds down there playing. And she said, I've been down here and watched it, doing drug deals and
Did
everything.
she give any specific times, or just?
She just said late in the evening.
I would encourage anybody to call and give a time and a date.
And a license plate.
Daryl and them can go down there and look it up, easy enough, or even maybe call Alan on it.
And everybody's got cell phones now. If you see something going on, just call and let's go down there. I mean, we bust 2 or 3, it'll stop the rest of it.
Yeah, I thought it had slowed down, but apparently it hadn't.
Yeah, that area is in the area that's being recorded.
Yeah, we'll be able to look at it.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Councilman Russell.
Not this time.
Councilman Wright. Councilman Holly. Councilman Meade.
No, sir.
Most of my stuff I've talked about. I'd like for us to look at our next workshop. Us discussing exactly what our job is. What's my job, what's your job? I get told that it's setting policy. If that's my job, I don't need this job. If I can't be a part of my city and I can't get out and work and I can't do anything and I can't talk to the employees and department heads, I don't need to be here. That's the way I feel. I was elected to be a voice for the people. If I can't be that voice, don't lock me in a box and throw me away. The last month has just been, people call us because we are the people they voted for. We are their voice to find out what's going on, why is it going on, who's doing this, who's doing that. And guys, we talking about the same thing we've been talking about since I've been here. I just think that in the council, we set committees. The committees were set to be on different boards. So, if there's a question in the street department, I could ask those council members, what's going on where? What are y'all paving? If I couldn't get all the city manager, I'd call them and ask them. If it's the police, if it's a fire, I could call those committee members and say, what's going on? Well, when the committee members don't know, it's their job, it's your job, your committee members to ask. And I just think that we need to look and see exactly what our job is. I feel like that, everybody, and this is no pun at anybody, but every time you say something, well, I got to talk to the city manager, and no pun towards you. But what people's got to understand is we was elected to be their voice to do a job and to make sure that job's done. If we can't do that, to me, I don't know how many policies I've set since I've been here. We come in here and approve the bills and approve the salaries every month and basically go home. I don't see a whole lot of policies that were set. I want to be a part of what we do. I want to be a part of what our rec department's doing, what our police department's doing. What if I can't go and talk to them and I can't find out I'm useless. If a taxpayer asks me a question and I don't know the answer, and I can't call one of y'all that's on the committee and you don't know it, there's a problem. I just think that we need to get mission statements. We need to decide what we're doing, who's doing what. We all understand that committees, they don't hire, they don't fire, they don't do it. There's only one person in this city that hires and fires. One person. He's sitting right over there. That's the only person. We don't hire and fire nobody, except for the one person. But he's in charge of every employee. And he's not, if he's not here or something, I want to be able to have somebody else that I can go to and say, hey, what's going on? Who's doing, you can't be here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no way. And I don't want that burden on you thinking you have to be. But I want that roll-up person that if there's an issue going on, I want to know who's in charge. I want to know why the cameras are not working. I want to know why this is not happening. I want to know why people didn't go to the class they was going to go to. I want to know what's going on. People hold us accountable to do that. And if we're not doing it, I hold Dr. Curley accountable to make sure our budget is where it needs to be. Now, he may look back at me and say, they approved it, and I understand that, but I still hold him accountable to get that ready. People hold us accountable to do our job. I just think the next workshop, we need to understand exactly what our job is, what bounds we can and can't go into, and make sure that we all are on the same page and we're not one's thinking this and one's thinking that, and I'm thinking this. Guys, I'm involved. I'm a hands-on kind of person. I want to know how much hands-on I can have. I'm not going to go and tell any department head what to do. I've never done that. But I may come to the department head and say, hey, Brad, what's that truck doing down there at the intersection? What do y'all got? I want to be able to do things like that. I want to see what we can and can't do. But I want to make sure that what we're setting is getting done. If I sit here and you all vote to do something, I want to make sure that we're following through. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. So I'd like from the next workshop us discuss what our job as a council and a mayor is. We've looked at it with MTAS. Now, I don't need MTAS to come tell me what my job is. I need us to figure out what our job is and us talk. MTAS ain't down here running my town. So we need to figure out what it is to make sure that we're not communicating different languages with each other. I think we can grow, we can prosper, we can do more if we understand what we're about and what we're doing. We asked Kevin what job descriptions that we hire these new people in. I want to see what our job description is. What are we doing? I want to know what the employees expect of us. But I want them to understand that I'm going to come in and see them. I'm doing it. I was voted on by the people to represent the people, and I'm going to do that until you all keep me out of here. But it's just aggravating. I feel like that we beat our heads against the wall and we come out just with a bloody nose and nothing else. So I want to know what we're doing. I'd ask that you all put that on the next workshop, and let's be open and let's talk and figure out what we're going to be doing. Anything else need to come before the council? Motion adjourned. Second. All in favor, aye? Aye.